Good news in here, Signing Day Central on Warchant TV. If you've been locked in, you've been rewarded. And you're rewarded once again because Florida State has now brought in a JUCO defensive lineman in the form of Tyeland Coleman, a large prospect coming down to Tallahassee. And joining us to talk about that and explain how it all happened is Matt Lasser, staff writer for Warchant.com. In the recruiting realm and the team realm, we're leaning on his recruiting expertise today. So, Matt, let us know. This is from what I'm reading in your work, a top 10 JUCO prospect in this cycle. And Tylen Coleman is over 280 pounds at 6'4". Florida State got themselves a large man today.
Yeah, they did. From Northwest Mississippi Community College, he is ranked as the 8th best JUCO prospect, 4th best defensive line in the JUCO level. Oh, well, I guess it moved to 8th according to On3, 9th according to the industry ranking. There's a lot of good JUCO defensive linemen this cycle, as you can tell, guys. Being in the top 10 is still the 4th best defensive lineman. But yeah, he came this past weekend for the Florida game. He had taken a lot of visits. He was actually originally supposed to visit for the Charleston Southern game, and he moved it back. And at that point, he visited Cal, Mississippi State. He visited a good amount of places, but it came down to Mississippi State, Illinois, FSU, and FSU won out.
All right, so again, this is a staff that's overhauling everything. Florida State does not, at the time that we're talking right now and recording this, have its defensive line coach name, but they do have Tony White, their new defensive coordinator. Did that play any role in this decision, having an 11th hour conversation with the new defensive coordinator, or was this something that was set up and in the works because of what Mike Norvell did, what Odell Hagens did? Tell me who was in contact with Coleman to make this happen for FSU?
I think this was more of a Mike Norvell and Odell Hagens thing. I honestly think he was pretty locked in by the time he left on Sunday morning this past week. So I don't really think the last-minute conversation had anything to do with it. It could have been one of those things he wanted to do before he made it official to everyone else, because remember, he did move it back a day. At one point, he moved it back. It was supposed to happen already. But I don't think it was really a huge part with Tony White. I think he was already locked in before then, because even when I texted him and asked him what do you think of the hire, you can go see it in the reactions, he was just like, oh, okay, cool, bet. Like, that was it. Like, I just think he was already locked in, and he was just like, oh, that's a cool dude. Like, he looks like he's good.
So how long have they been working on this player, Matt? Is this something that's happened, they pivoted to him recently, or is this something a guy they've kept their eye on for some time?
I do think in general this was more of a backup option, right? Just because of the way the defensive line recruiting has gone this cycle, losing Myron Charles, Javion Hilson, those kinds of people. They offered him in October, I believe. If I'm right, I want to say October 23rd was when I looked. And they've really been on him ever since then. They instantly became a top school for him, from what he told me. He was like, yeah, right away they're up there again, almost right after the offers when he scheduled a visit to Florida State, and the rest is kind of history.
So as you're looking at Florida State's class, of course, it's going to be one that, they're doing damage control. They're trying to get the most out of this that they can, Matt. What do you think in terms of guys who can make impacts early on? JUCO is one of the places you look. They're bringing in a JUCO receiver. They're bringing in a JUCO defensive lineman. But beyond maybe those two players, including those two players, guys that can help them in 2025, because a lot of fans are looking at, we need to get better now. Is this a potential candidate to do that? Some other guys that you might have interviewed, that you've seen in action, that you've looked at either their film or what their camp results were. Just talk to me about guys that maybe can make an impact for Florida State next season.
I mean, when it comes to the 2025 class, I don't think there's a huge amount of guys who will make an impact. That's where I think they're going to have to go to the portal, hit the portal hard. I think I've said this a bunch of times that hitting the portal hard is going to have to be an essential for Mike Norvell to fix it and fix it quickly like he wants to. But when it comes to Tylon Coleman, I actually do like his film. I think the main thing for him is he's going to have to put on some size in the weight room this offseason when it comes to tour duty. He is enrolling early. I don't know if I already said that or not. But I think that's going to be the big key, because that problem I see is kind of with the strength. He's got a little speed there. His hands are violent, like the use of them, but it's that kind of strength off the jump that you want to see a little more of. And that comes down to Coach Storms right away when he gets here.
Yep, that's exactly right. Get in that weight room. A lot of guys that are already on campus that have been here for this season probably need to do that as well. We have all of the news coming for you here on Warchant TV. It's Signing Day Central on Warchant TV. Hit the like button underneath this video. Subscribe to the channel, absolutely free. When you subscribe, next time you open up your app, your home screen will show us. It'll feature our videos. Same thing on your homepage if you're using an old school browser. Get us on your front page because the news is coming fast from the recruiting world. The transfer portal world is around the corner. And how about coaching changes as well? It's a wild time to cover Florida State athletics. Matt will be at the forefront of a lot of this coverage. So, Matt, we appreciate your time, and we will talk to you all next time right here on Warchant TV.